So we left California at the end of 2019, right before the pandemic, and it was really calm before the storm. And I should have known better. When we moved from Los Angeles to Oklahoma City, we assumed things would be way cheap, but a lot of the costs actually surprised me. You see, when I left here, I was just a teenager. I didn't pay for anything. So I didn't really have a good sense of value of things before I originally moved to Los Angeles. But lo and behold, we moved here and things were not as cheap as I thought they would be, at least in some areas. I'll explain. Certain things are going to be a given. Oh, let's just scrap that part. I'll explain. It's actually cheaper. So in this video, we're going to discuss what's actually cheaper and what's not. Let's start with housing. Of course, housing is cheaper in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma's a clear winner here. Rent is dramatically lower. Mortgages are dramatically lower. You get more money. You get more bang for your buck in regards to the space of the property that you can buy or rent. So Oklahoma clearly wins here. Next up is taxes and government. Fees. California is incredibly painful when it comes to taxes and fees. You have higher income tax, you have higher sales tax, you have higher registration tax or higher registration fees, small checks, and just government fees just to exist. Things like registering your car and renewing your driver's license, any type of paperwork that you have to do, it costs more there to do anywhere else. And it's slow and it's time consuming and it's just not fun. Here in Oklahoma, it's much more simpler and it's cheaper here. So for this one, Oklahoma wins. Next up is gas. And you know, California loses hard. I'm not really sure what their gas is. Let's take a look. Gas in California is approximately $4.63 per gallon. Meanwhile, here in Oklahoma, gas is $1.98 per gallon. So again, very, very clear winner. That would be Oklahoma. Next up is food. Now, this is split into two. You have eating out and then you have groceries. We'll start with eating out. In my opinion and in my experience, California is actually cheaper here too. I do get to visit and frequent California, Los Angeles, and every time I go to all my favorite spots, the prices have gone up since the COVID, of course. However, they're still much cheaper than here in Oklahoma. When I go out to eat in Oklahoma, those most likely cost me about $20 a person. When I go out to eat in California at some of my favorite eateries, they're about $12 to $15 a person. And the quality is much, much better. Now, I attribute this to competition. There's many more places to eat in California, more restaurants, more people. So I think they have to be just a bit more competitive. Also, sometimes higher volume equals lower prices. They also have many more food options in all different types of price points. I mean, from, your dollar eats, your food trucks, all the way up to like maestros. Oklahoma, you have much fewer options and the quality doesn't always match the price. So for this one, I'm going to give that to California. So we'll circle back around to groceries. I think I would say that certain groceries might be a little cheaper in California. For example, seafood, because they're clearly close to the water. Oklahoma's pretty landlocked, so there is no seafood nearby. Also things like avocados, certain fruits and vegetables that grow in California, just costs are cheaper because they're in proximity to it. So I would say just slightly, California is a bit cheaper when it comes to groceries. Entertainment. So next we talk about entertainment, and this one is kind of dependent on you, but I would say for the vast majority of people, especially people who either live in California or want to live in California, you will enjoy tons of free entertainment. There is entertainment all year round because there's no weathering. There is free entertainment such as walking to the beach or walking to a nearby park or happen upon a farmer's market, or all types of things that you can just stumble your way into in California with no entry fees. The biggest cost that you're going to spend outside of a paid event itself is for parking. So if you can get to a location without driving and you can just walk there, then there's all sorts of free entertainment that you can have in California. And of course, the paid premium ones that are probably worth paying for. In Oklahoma, there are fewer entertainment options, and those entertainment options typically cost a pretty penny. For example, they just opened up an indoor water park here. The kind of resort is, I think, about $50 to $60 per person, and it's just an indoor water park. It's not huge, it's not small, but it's also not huge. And it's just kind of one of those things that I feel is a bit overpriced for what you get, but it's new, so that's why. Also, one of the gripes that I have about it is they don't have any resident discount pricing like Disney would have, for example. Next is seasonal costs. I don't have to tell you. I'm pretty sure you can guess that California is going to win on this one because California has no seasons, or at least Los Angeles has no seasons. So you're not going to be spending money on new tires for the winter. You're not going to be spending money on winter clothes and snow gear to move the snow out of the way. And your heating costs aren't going to be insane for the wintertime. You're not going to have weathering maintenance issues like having burst pipes in the middle of winter. You don't have to deal with any of those things in California. So for that reason, California wins. Next, we have labor and services. So this one, again, to me, goes back to availability and just having massive competition there. I think that it's easier and cheaper to hire laborers in California in order to get things fixed. In order to, if you're trying to find a plumber, an HVAC tech, an electrician, a handyman, any of those things, you'll find that prices are better and cheaper in California because there's just more people available to do those jobs, as opposed to here in Oklahoma. You might have to put out several inquiries before you even get a call back. And typically the one who calls you back the first or the fastest is the most expensive one. So for this one, I'm going to give it to California. So as you can see, leaving California doesn't necessarily make everything in your life cheaper, but I would say that housing costs is definitely a deal breaker for most people. The mortgage that we have right now touches $2,500 a month. And if we were to have maybe the same type of house in the same type of neighborhood in California, we'd be paying closer to like $8,000 a month. With that price difference being said, you can see why we made the decision that we made. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Also, while I have you here, don't forget to check out RecipeMuse. RecipeMuse is an app that you can try for 30 days for free to create and store all of your favorite recipes and scroll through them just like your Instagram feed, but for food. Also, check out Lovable, the tool that I use to create software without any coding experience. We just use AI. The link to that is also in the description below. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.